Hey everybody, Dean Jacobs. It is Sunday night, and this is day 9 of my challenge here, broadcasting live from my office here in Fremont, Nebraska. And I learned something. I learned actually how to get my screen so it looks right. Empowering questions, right? I hope that, I'm so proud of myself. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Upside down before. Can't read it. It was upside down. And I finally got it figured out how to turn it right. Empowering questions. David Weed is in the house. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Amanda. This is day number 9 of my live Facebook challenge. I gave myself a challenge about a week ago to go live once a day for 30 days to pump some positive energy into this conversation. I have to say, it's been a challenging day for me today. I was working on some stuff on my electronic animal book, and then I found that there was some glitches in it, and I was all ready to pump it out into the world, and it's like, oh. And what I noticed is, when there's compounded stress, the little things all of a sudden turn into much bigger things. You know what I mean? But, okay, that's to be expected right now. That's to be expected. I shouldn't be surprised by that, and I'm not. So what I do is I use the tools that I know how to manage it and to do something positive about it. And what I did is I went for a walk, went outside and got some fresh air. Took the dog for a walk, a little rusty, and we went just for a walk around the block. And in that, I put myself in a new and different situation, and I find that actually gives me a chance to breathe and take a little breath. Like meditative prayer walk and walk around the block, and knowing and reminding myself that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. If I had enough capacity and gumption and determination and craziness to quit my job and sell my house and take a trip around the world, I'm pretty sure that if I keep my focus and my attention and my attitude in the right place, that we're going to find ourselves how to get from point A to point B. You know what I mean? So all those life lessons have taught me all that traveling, all those choices have taught me some pretty useful lessons, especially in times like this. So this is not the time to get narrowed in, but this is a time to be determined to continue to stretch that perspective so that we don't feel like we get trapped in our sense of what's possible and what we have for possibility. Because otherwise, we get trapped in the box. Because on the other side of that wall of fear, there's a whole world waiting to be explored. If I let that wall of fear, that wall of frustration, that wall of not knowing trap me here, then I feel like I have limited possibilities, and then I go get narrow focus, and then it just gets really dark in there. And it's hard to shine bright when we're trapping ourselves with limited possibilities. So I'm here to remind you that we are not supposed to be living in little boxes, and we will, even if we have to do some I don't like social distancing because we're socializing right here, right now. How about physical distancing? But just because we are not physically in the same location does not mean that we can't stay connected. This too shall pass. Exactly right, Anna. All right, this too shall pass. We don't have to let these things make us small-minded. We don't have to let the situation have our actions be. We don't have to live small just because if we are quarantined. We don't have to live small. We can continue to dream big if we're willing to challenge ourselves about where we put our focus, where we put our time, what we invest our energy into. So this is my little Facebook Live reminder to continue to challenge you and support you, validate you, do whatever I need to do to wave a little oxygen on your internal flames, so that way you keep working your way down that pathway of living a life of wonder, so you continue to shine bright. And one of the ways that we do that is by asking ourselves good questions. I go back to the metaphor. The young Native American boy goes to his grandfather and says, "Grandfather, I feel like I have 2 wolves that are always fighting on the inside. Which wolf wins?" And the grandfather turns to his grandson and says, "My son, the wolf that wins is the one that we feed." So I'm here to remind us to make sure that we're feeding the wolf, the good wolf, the one that lives its life by living tall, by honesty and dignity and respect and generosity and kindness and all those things. Because that's how we stretch and blow up that box. That's how we continue to widen that perspective. Otherwise, if we don't, we get trapped here. But we stretch and blow this baby up by dreaming big, by living tall, so we can get on with doing our part to make the world what? To make the world better. So That's why I keep coming on every day between 6:30 and 7:30 now. This is my time frame I've decided. The end of the day, but before night really begins, to pump a little positive energy, to cheer you on, to cheer me on, so we can know that we're all in this together, and to keep fanning that flame of hope. All right, so empowering. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I got some help from my friend Jeff Cockrell. He's my accountability coaching buddy. We support each other and we coach each other. Coaching, by the way, I'm finding at this point in time, and with all these extra challenges, has been so helpful for me. So if you've never gotten any coaching, I would encourage you now. Now's the time to pony up or step up to the plate with getting that extra support, because I find it's very helpful. Empowering questions, which means questions that what? Empower us. So the empowering question for Sunday, what is today? March, what is it? 22nd. I'm going to look. I don't know about y'all, but all the days starting to mush together a little bit. For Sunday, March 22nd, the empowering question for tonight is, and it's a good one. Well, they're all good. What kind of advice on life would my old self give to my current self? Read that. What? I got to learn how to do this, because I finally learned it to do the right way, but there we go. What kind of self... There we go. What kind of advice on life would my old self give to my current self? When my old self. Well, some people already think I'm old, so depending, I guess that's all subjective and from depending on which viewpoint, all right? But what kind of advice would my old self give to my current self? Well, there's no big secret. I'm 57, so let's say I'm 87. What would my old self... I had this vision the other day, by the way, before I answer this question, because I will answer it. I had this vision that one day some fifth grader is going to come up to me and doing a report like, Mr. Jacobs, do you remember the pandemic of COVID, the coronavirus of 2020? And I'm and could you tell me what it was like? Well, I want to be able to... If I'm getting asked questions in the future, let's say 20, 30 years down the road from now, and students are asking me what it was like to live during the pandemic of 2020, I want to be able to say, well, you know what? Instead of just sitting back and hoping things got better, I saddled up, as we do in Nebraska, and got on the horse, and we rode as hard and as fast and as smart as we could. And that's what I was doing. I was doing these once upon a time in 2020, they had something called Facebook. Who knows what they got 30 years from now? Anyway, I'll tell them all about how we did live Facebook feeds. So what kind of advice on life would my old self give to my current self? Well, here's what my old self would say to myself. You got this, Dean Jacobs. You're going to figure this out. You may not always understand what's going on, but with enough time, attention, energy, determination, focus, passion, commitment, if you continue to fan those qualities inside you, you will figure this out. You did get from point A to point B. And not only did you move through it, you grew and became a better person as a result of it. And you did such a good job. And thank you for not giving up. And thank you for believing in the people. And thank you for sharing your heart. That's the kind of advice my old self would give to my current self. That would be, never give up. Keep bringing your best self forward. Continue to shine bright. Don't wait for the rest of the world to give you permission. Now's the time when we need each and every one of you stepping up and burning as brightly as possible, so we continue to shine the pathway in front of us. That's why I come on with the live Facebook broadcast, to wave a little oxygen on your flames, to remind you that it's not an accident that we are here. It's not an accident that we are here at this time. So if that's true, which I believe, and then we have to, the wise and empowering questions is like, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And how can I use this situation to make me better? Thumbs up. That's our symbol for making the world better. That's what I'm always teaching the elementary kids. So when I see you out in the hallway, give me a thumbs up. When I see you in the cafeteria, give me a thumbs up. When I see you when I'm filling my car up, give me a thumbs up. So thumbs up to all of you for everything that you are doing now, everything that you will do in the future from your own self, to continue to shine bright, because that's how we're going to get through all this together. We're not only get through it together, but we're going to grow together. We're going to become a better version of ourselves together. And we're going to look back at all this one day and say, man, did I grow in this? Now, there is some pain with growing. I have found there is a little bit of frustration with that. I get it. I mean, I'm bumping up against my former limitations, my former skill sets, and those are just you're welcome, Diane Harpster. Got your name right this time. You're welcome. I hope this oxygen feeds your beautiful hearts and your beautiful souls, wherever this may find you, my friends. We need reminders. We need to stay connected. I don't like this thing called social distancing. We can have physical distancing, but we're not socially distant. We're actually connected right here on the internet. I may not be sitting right next to you, but I can see you. I see you all. I see you, as they say in that movie of Avatar. I see you guys. I see what you're capable of doing. I see who you're capable of being. I see what you're actually doing in spite of all the challenges and things like that. And in doing so, then we burn brighter. And so thank you for all of you for what you're doing to burn bright. So what kind of advice would my old self give to my current self? Keep going. Never give up. It's not an accident that God put us here. It is our job to find out how we can fulfill that role to the best of our capacity. How can we be more generous? How can we be more kind? How can we be even more responsible and caring and respectful and all those things? Because it's not an accident that we're here at this time. The accident is doing nothing. If we shut down and if we let that wall of fear keep us trapped here, and then we're missing the opportunity. Now is the time for all of us to step up, to shine brighter. I'm doubling down on trying to learn some stuff. I'm working on an ebook. Well, actually, it's an ebook an animal book that I've had for a long time. I was getting ready to launch it out and give it out to the world. All of a sudden, I found some glitches in it, so I got to see if I can fix that. That's just the challenges that we're going to have along the way, but it's not going to stop me. And I'm here to remind you not to be stopped either with what you're doing. We may not actually be able to physically hug, but we sure can virtually hug. We can spiritually hug. We can send good thoughts to where our friends who are challenging find themselves in challenging situations. We don't have to let this wall of fear build a box around our hearts, is what I'm trying to say. We can actually use this as an opportunity to stretch and blow that box up over and over and over again. And it's one thing to think about it as a concept, and now life has given us an opportunity to actually do it. So we have to be intentional about doing that. So my point, I guess if I was going to add a little teaching point to all of this, like tomorrow, how could you double down on something that would help you burn brighter? Whether it's either, if you're sending messages to friends, if it's 2 or 3 messages, send 6. If you are making phone calls to people, make twice as many phone calls. If you're writing gratitudes if you're keeping a gratitude, write twice as many gratitudes in your gratitude journal. Double down on those things that help you burn bright. That will then ripple out to all of us, and that in doing so will bounce to the rest of the world, and that's how we will do our part to make the world better. So that's what the kind of advice I give to my old self. Don't give up. Keep going. We will get through this. And not only will we get through this, we'll become better as a result of it. How cool is that? That should give us some hope, a little optimism, a little bit of bounce in our step. Like, this too shall pass. God didn't give us this. God never gives us more than we can handle, as long as we're willing to keep our heart open and ask for the help along the way. So this is me offering you some help. This is me trying to do my part to help remind us that we're here to make the world better, me trying to make the world better. So blessings to all of you. I send you nothing but light and love and calmness and peace and good things to help us stay grounded, so the best version of ourselves can continue to show up and shine bright. All right? I'll see you tomorrow, 6:30-ish, around that time, for another episode of Explore with Dean, another live version on our live feed on my Facebook. Until the meantime, be safe and be the good. All right, bye-bye.